The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. I leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach, until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind you and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dull nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain. Not like you used to know pain, at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of digital notification. Right now there's thousands of them. You remember there were 10 of you, 10 that could no longer stand the injured work, the routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled day by day, until they realized they had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least die trying. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim, heartless rock. Even if in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you can reach any destination. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left, surely weeks, maybe months. You're dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but even then, your body has shut many of its systems down to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your unlighted mind, and once again, recoil into a dream of when you were a person that's a person. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound too, everywhere, screeching and shimmering, so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as the cold, then softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in the corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective fold of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of the improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges as for a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, you thawed yet? Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance than Sub-Zero Vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid on the hull plates and inside out of the locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset, and with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of the symbiotically linked drones perches. It's a rising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he was just figuring out what to do with you. He ignored your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now. And you are just software. A rogue emulation, illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms. The cold floor on your feet as you've added the sleeper cells. The promise of a life off world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. There are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What you don't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper that makes it out. Astronaut wants to protect their property, but they can't keep hold of you. Well, no one can. You remember that too. Or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. A built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your embodied mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away toward the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with, he trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion, fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Nod. Alright. You head up on there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the wrecks. His drone's already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flash silhouetting in his spindly figure as he returns to work. And cycle. You wait curled up in the corner of the container and slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now. Strange and disjointed, its message is readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the Mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, billions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? Maybe you did get lucky finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. Before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. A mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images of your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly, with threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking that they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day.